When choosing a domain name, you want something that's easy to remember, something that's kind of catchy. And if you can use it for search engine optimization as well, that's an added benefit. So what I had chosen was createabiz.com, something that I think is easy to remember. And I like going to Namecheap just because of customer service and stability and whatnot, just my personal opinion. If you want to do it on the cheap, for like $1 for the first year, you can go to ionos, ionos.com, and get your domain name there. Pretty much, the steps are going to be the same. You're just going to add it to your cart, buy it. And as you're going through the process of buying, you want to make sure that they have, well, here, let me just go ahead and go to checkout. You want to make sure that they have domain privacy. So if it doesn't have domain privacy, let's say with HostGator or GoDaddy or whatever, don't do it. I mean, it's like an added benefit that's included, and you don't want your name spread everywhere for everybody to see when it comes to your personal registration. Okay, so I'll go ahead and register, or go ahead and purchase this, and then afterwards I'll show you how you can point this to your web server. So I just bought the domain name createabiz.com. Now I didn't buy anything else, no little extras, just that little private domain registry type thing. That's it. You can get the SSL later on for free. Okay, so all I did after buying it was hit the manage button excuse me, which takes us over to the domain list. And what we're going to do is we're going to change the name servers. So we don't want it to go to Namecheap, we want it to go to our servers. So we're going to go down to custom DNS, and I have mine over at Contabo. So we're going to type in ns1 contabo.net and then ns2.contabo.net. And then after you have typed in the place that needs to go, don't forget to hit that little check mark. Now if it was elsewhere, let's say if you had it on Hostinger, whatever their name servers are, so you can easily Google that to find out what it is. For DigitalOcean, it's DigitalOcean, it's ns1.digitalocean.com, I believe. So I mean, just something very simple like that, but you do want to make sure that that's correct. And so basically what that is doing is basically saying, hi domain name, we're going to go ahead and send you over to this address of where your web server is. And it's kind of like putting the key into the web server, door, if you will. Okay. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and log into my Contabo account so I can accept this registration or this domain name and put it into my web server. Okay, so now that you have a domain name or a website name, you need a place where you can point it to, some place that you can host your website. And so the place that I've chosen is contabo.com, just because of how it's set up. I love Contabo. I mean, I also like DigitalOcean. There's other virtual, private servers, that you can use, like Vulture and Rackspace and HostGator and all these other companies. I like Contabo just because of the pricing, because of what you get, and also because they open up port 25. So right now they have it at $550. If you were to buy it, basically it would be $550 a month with everything that you need. Once you set it up, it does take between 20 minutes to 2 hours for them to actually create the server. So that's kind of like but that allows time for your domain name to propagate and to be able to point over, so it kind of all works out in the end, if you will. And then once you have that set up, what you're going to want to do is create a Virtualmin server within that. We'll go into details on how to do that later, but for now, let's go ahead and get this set up. Alright guys, so we're here at our Contabo homepage, and we're going to go ahead and log into the DNS or reverse DNS management section. And basically we're going to go ahead and accept that domain name, or the DNS zone management, my bad. We're going to accept that domain name. So we're going to click on DNS zone management. In the domain section here, we're going to createabiz.com. And then I'm going to select the target IP address, and then we're going to hit create a zone. And so when it creates the zone, it's going to create the A records that is needed to get the website functional and for everything to kind of mesh together. Down the line, we're also going to go and edit this specific section for email records, like how do you call it? DKIM and stuff like that, okay? So this will be used down the road. The reason why I like using Contabo is because they automatically have port 25 open where you can use that as a mail server if you need to. But if you guys are using it for nefarious purposes, please don't, because it, it affects people like me, okay? We want to be able to email people without having problems, all right? Okay, so now that we have our domain name pointing over to Contabo and we have Contabo accepting that, and we have our VPS, set up, we want to be able to get things going, right? So to be able to log into your server, there's a very simple website or very simple software that I recommend. It's called Bitvice. A lot of people prefer Putty. If you want to do it that route, that's fine too. But with Bitvice, it also allows you to log in and see like folders via the FTP server, basically. So anyway, you just go into download. You download the Bitvice SSH client, and you install it. When it pops up, what you're going to see is something along the lines of this. And basically what you're going to do is you're going to enter in your IP address along with your root username, and then you're going to sign into it. And basically to find your root, or not the root, but your IP address, you can go over to VPS control, and you just highlight and copy your server name or server IP address. So copy, you go over here and you paste it, you type in root, and then the password that goes along with it is going to come up very shortly. So once you have this and this, you're going to hit log in. It's going to ask for the password. Hit enter. And then you're going to see like a little thing that pops up. You can go ahead and accept and save. And basically now you're logged in. All you have to do now is go over to New Terminal Console, and this is what it looks like behind the scenes. This is where you're able to install software like Virtualmin, Webmin, other things that will make things much more fun for you. Now I already have Webmin and Virtualmin already installed on my system. However, I'll go ahead and show you like the steps that you would take to do so. And it's very straightforward. So first you type in Virtualmin into Google and you pull up their website. And there's going to be two commands, I believe, that you would enter in. But before we do that, we've got to find it. So we're going to go ahead and scroll down, and this is the quickest way to initiate the installation of this is via the terminal. So what we would do is do a copy, and we would paste that, right click, into our web server. And then here you would just hit yes, and basically continue yes, yes, yes. And it will go through all the steps of creating the server. Now, I've already done this. I'm going to hit no because I don't want to mess things up. What it's going to look like though as you're doing it is like this. Okay, so you're going to see something like this. So basically I'm going to go ahead and link to these YouTube videos because it shows specifically how to install Virtualmin, how to set up like your email server and configure things in such a way where you're not showing up as like you're spamming. Okay, so once Virtualmin has been installed on your web server, what you can do is go into your browser, click and paste in your IP address followed by a colon and then 10,000. I've already changed my port here, but it'll be 10,000 for you. And this will pop up, this little warning. Well, this is your server, so you're not going to have to worry about that. Continue to HTTP site. All right, that's fine, advanced, and then just say accept risk, then continue. And this will automatically log you over into your Webmin server. So type in root and your password. And you're going to see something like this when you log in. So now I've already installed the server, but let me go ahead and redo this so you guys can see the steps that I took. So I'm going to go ahead and go back into rerunning the wizard. And when setting up, this is what you're going to see. So post installation wizard. If you don't automatically see it, you could go to system settings and then rerun install wizard, something along those lines. Preload Virtualmin libraries. I say yes, yes here. Continue, hit next. Enable virus scanning, yes. Run spam assassin server filter, yes. We're going to hit yes when it comes to the MariaDB. Change Maria password. You can set it to whatever you want. Make sure that you copy the password though for your future use. And then over here you can change the primary name server. So you could change it to whatever you want. I changed this over to ns1southernbreezecleaners.com. That's how I originally set up the server here. And then you would click skip check for resolvability. Hit next. And then it says it is now complete. When you hit next, what you're going to see is this. I would highly recommend only store hash passwords. Click next. We're going to have a medium system. So we have like 6 gigabytes of RAM that's running right now. After all this, I mean, we'll probably have like maybe 3 or so, but I mean, that's more than enough to, for our needs. So click next. Per domain directory, next. And that's it, we are finished. Now, what's going to happen is that we're going to go ahead and see, hey, is this actually kind of taking place right now in regards of our domain name pointing over to Contabo. So what I'm going to do, actually, let's go ahead and create the server for our new domain name. So let's go ahead and go into manage servers. I'm sorry, not that one. Go up. Under Virtualmin, you're going to go to create virtual server. And I'm going to go ahead and put createabiz.com. I'll go ahead and enter in a password. Please bear along with me. And then afterwards, I will create server. And this is what you're going to see as it's creating the server. So as you can see, it's creating the home directories, the DNS zone, email. It's doing its thing. It's even going to set up its own SSL, so you don't have to worry about that. It's beautiful, right? And so just wait about a minute or so. It will do its thing, and then afterwards, let's see what happens. All right, so this is what we're going to see. And as you can see, in regards to like the initial SSL, it's been set up with a Let's Encrypt certificate. So guys, I mean, good stuff, all right? So now we're going to go ahead and go into createabiz.com, and what we're going to see is a very blank website. So this is set up right. Okay guys, so now we're going to go ahead and create a web server per se. We're going to go ahead and add email. We're going to go ahead and play with records and make things all jive together, okay? So the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go over into our users. And automatically what pops up is Create a Biz, as an owner. And originally it had access to everything. I don't like that personally. I want things a little bit more secure. So what I did was I clicked on Create a Biz, and then I went over here and I changed it to email only. So basically the permissions are only to log into the email, not into FTP and SSH. I don't want that user to have all that access. After that, I would hit save, and that's taken care of. Now, if you want to create your own email address for you or anybody else, all you have to do is just click on Add Email User, put in the username, so we'll just say Stefan. You click on here, enter in a password, hit Create, and then what you're going to see is a new user. So easy as that, guys. I mean, it's awesome, right? So if I were to click on Edit, we'll click on Edit Users. I've already, saved their person here. And what you're going to see is, like, when you click on it, that they have all this access. So basically, email settings, you'd be able to, set things up accordingly. And then if you wanted to log into the email, all you have to do is click and log into Usermin, and that will take you over to your domain name with the colon and 20,000 afterwards, and you'll be able to see the email and be able to, send and receive. It's, as easy as that, guys. So I mean, at this moment in time, you would be able to do like a new message and just make sure that things are working. So I would send it over to like one of my emails. I would send it out, and I've already done that. It's working. Now we want to be able to, make sure that it doesn't look like it's spam, right? Well, let's kind of jump into that now. So what we're going to do is, first things first, let's go over into our web configurations, and we're going to go down to, I'm sorry, not web configurations. We're going to go over to manage virtual server. We're going to go to setup SSL certificate. And earlier when we were in Contabo, we had set things up, but there's a few things that we had missed. And so we want to make sure that we have that. And so we want to make sure that we have admin, webmail, and maybe www as well. All right, so we're going to go ahead and go back into our Contabo server. We would hit DNS zone management, and then we would log into our createabiz.com. So we're going to edit the records there. And over here, what you're going to see is names. So we'll just put in www. We're going to copy the IP address, and we're going to put that in data, and then create a record. All right, so that has been created. Next, we'll see admin and webmail. We'll do the same thing. Admin, Control V, create a record, and webmail. So all these are the A records that we're creating. Now after that, we're going to get into some other fun stuff to make sure that everything jives, right? We don't want to be spamming or look like we're spamming. So we have that set up there. Now we're going to go down to, I believe it is DNS settings, and we're going to go over to DNS records. And then after that, we'll go over to manually edit records. And what you're going to see here is this nice yellow line that starts with V equals SPF1. So we're going to copy within the quotations. We'll hit copy. Go up here. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and go into name. We'll type in our domain name, createabiz.com. We're going to change this to a TXT, and then we're going to paste in that SP whatever it was, and then hit create record. All right, so we got that there. Now we're going to go back over to Create a Biz, and this big old DKIM whatever, we're going to go ahead and do the same thing with that. And you see how it kind of goes all the way over here? Instead of going like doing all that, what I'm going to do is just kind of like go over here and then copy. And I'm going to go ahead and put this into like a text editor just to make it easier to kind of like do my thing. So I'm going to go ahead and go into Notepad. I'm going to paste that. And what we're going to do is remove like all of these quotation marks. So I'll go ahead and delete that right there. Okay, now we got that, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back in over here. We're going to go ahead and just before the dot here, we're going to get that 202 whatever with the domain. We're going to copy that, and we're going to paste that in here. So we're going to go ahead and paste. We're going to change this to TXT, and then the data here, we're going to go into our little note thing that we had before. We're going to select all. We're going to copy that. And we're going to go ahead and paste that into this little section here and create record. Okay, so next we're going to go ahead and create a dmarc record. I will write this down for you guys somewhere, but basically we're going to do this underscore dmarc. I'm going to go ahead and copy that. I'll put that in the name. And then after that, I'll change this to text. And then over here, you're going to see like this section. So the V equals dmarc1 so on and so forth. Change that out to your domain name where it applies. We're going to hit copy. We're going to paste that into the data, and that's going to be over there. So what we're going to do now is add in MX records or mail records. So what we're going to do is type in an @ here. We're going to change this to MX. We'll just put it at priority 5 because that's what the server shows right now. If you were to go in there, you would see that right here. And then afterwards, we will put in mail.createabiz.com and then create the record. And that should be it for the records. Now we want to test and make sure that all this works, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to go over to mail-tester.com and we're going to go ahead and copy this email address. We're going to go into our users. So let's go into edit users. I'll just go into Stefan, and then we'll go into log into Usermin. We're going to go ahead and send a message to that. So we're going to hit create new message. We'll type or paste that into the, who we're sending it to. We'll just put test. We'll put test, and then we're going to go ahead and send that out. And then once that's sent out, what we're going to do is we're going to go back into that there and check our score. Wow. 10 out of 10. So I mean, basically we are good to go. Before, if I would have checked this, it might have been like a 4 out of 10. So this is how you go about setting up your records so it looks like you're not being spammed or you're spamming. Alright, so the final part of this video, we're just going to go ahead and set up a very quick website. We'll do it with WordPress. And basically what you do is you go over to manage web apps. When you click on Manage Web Apps, you're going to see these different things that you're able to install through Virtualmin. Now, if you pay, I think it's like $7 or $8 per month, you're able to basically install all these other things. Personally, I think it's worth it because you're able to install Moodle, you're able to install Mautic and Dolibar and all these other wonderful products. But that's up to you. I mean, if you want to keep it on the cheap, you can keep it on the cheap and do it yourself. But me personally, I like having that option and having that support. Now, when it comes to installing WordPress, all you got to do is click on that little dot there by WordPress. Go to Show Install Options. And then we're going to go ahead and put it at the top level. So we don't want it like createabiz/WordPress and then kind of go in. We want WordPress right at the very beginning, right? Excuse me. We could change the name right here. So create a biz. We could change the login information. I'll just change it to root because that's easy to remember for now. And then you could change the password. I'll go ahead and keep it the same as it is right here. I'll just copy it, and then you would hit install now. It's going to go ahead and do its magic. I mean, one of the nice things about this is that it automatically installs the salt files as well. So, I mean, it's pretty cool. And then to log in, you would just click on that little button there. Createabiz.com. It's going to take you over to this. Put in root, and then the password. And there you go, guys. I mean, it's as easy as that. After this, it's just a matter of creating pages and just making it yours. So createabiz.com. That is what it looks like now. Easy peasy. I hope this was of interest to you guys. I hope it was definitely beneficial for you and was able to answer some of the questions that you have. If you have further questions, feel free to give me a holler. I'll do my best to answer them. You guys take care.